Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighters Anthology. Now, in the past day or two, we've helped cover the beginning of the liberation of Ukraine. So today, let's see what else we do in support of that.
Coalition forces entered the Ukraine this morning and are now engaging the Russian army. Despite this fact, the Russian air offensive seems to be losing momentum. There have been fewer Russian sorties in the last 48 hours than at any time since the war began. Let's hope the trend continues.
The Marines have repaired a captured airfield and are moving in high-priority material using C-130s. You're going to escort several of these Ukrainian Express wagons to the landing field. It's critical that they arrive unharmed. Stay vigilant.
Certainly maintaining a supply train is going to be very important as the Marines move up from Crimea. Wild Bill's pickup, USS Eisenhower, CVN 69. Date June 1st, local time, 0500 hours. Weather, clear. Situation, high priority material is being airlifted to the Marine Ground Forces via C-130 Hercules transports, dubbed the Ukrainian Express. Mission objective, protect the transports from enemy aggression. Order of battle, recommended aircraft F-22N, recommended weapons AIM-9M, AIM-120, threat suppression data, ground opposition none, air opposition unknown. So it looks like we'll essentially be flying a bar crap around the northern edge of Crimea to shield the transports which are landing at Simferopol. We have one expert wingman who will be protecting a pair of C-130 tactical transports, after which we'll return to the Eisenhower. And we see the European forces haven't made much headway yet. They haven't captured any of the bases on the Polish border. But at least the Russians aren't moving into Poland, so there's a plus. We'll take our trusty Tomcat. We'll take 2 Phoenix missiles to shoot down any interceptors that they might scramble against us. And we'll take Sparrows for the rest of our armament. So, we'll fly with that. We can hear those C-130s pretty loud. Let's max out our radar, get an idea of what we're dealing with. And then I know there's there we go. Let's get that supplemental air link going on. What do we got here? Flankers. We're gonna rush out to intercept them. And we're going to use our Sparrows for those. So like I said, I want to save my Phoenix in case they send any, MiG-31s out for us. So, now we've had fun playing with the transports. We'll head out and grab these guys. Let's see, he's an expert, so even our wingman could hold our own against him. He has one wingmate. Alright, we'll have him go to combat spread, echelon formation. Let's throw our jammers on. See if we can distract them that way. Alright, our Sparrow is starting to get a lock. And we'll have our wingman take out his wingmate. And it looks like he's evading me, so that's good. much a little hit probability, but I just want to see if he'll actually do anything. I mean, he's flying straight and away, so... Yeah, it wasn't homing. And we're too close to our Phoenix missiles, so...
It's 12 o'clock, turning right. Apex inbound, drop shaft.
So they turned around to shoot at us.
The worm has turned.
So these guys kind of don't want to fight us. That's disappointing.
It's 12 o'clock. Take him out.
Come on, baby.
Flash one. Flasher.
Okay, we're going to have our wingmen go for these MiGs that are coming in.
11 o'clock flow. He's at 12 o'clock. Engaging.
Oh, what we have here? Interceptors. And it looks like that's as optimal as we'll get with our Phoenix missiles. So we'll launch those out.
11 o'clock. We've got him now. Flash one.
Alright, we got one.
Flash one.
And there's the other, so no need to worry about the interceptors now. Phoenix out, or sorry, Sparrow out.
Fox 2, drop flare.
Alright.
Bring it around.
We'll order our wingmen to attack any bandit he sees. We'll let him loose. It looks like all there were MiG-21, so I'm not too worried about them.
Let's finish this guy. Fox 2.
I was gonna say, can't exactly get a... There we go.
Flasher.
Alright, wingmen, go for the MiGs.
Your 8 o'clock flow. Tally-ho.
And I think we're dry on missiles now. Yep, we are Winchester, so... Got here. We have F-14s fighting some MiG-21s there. That'll be a hilariously lopsided engagement, just like this is going to be. All these MiGs can do is run away from us. But we're plenty good on fuel. So they really don't want to fight us, and if he keeps afterburning like that, he's going to run out of fuel. Alright, the transports have landed. So now we don't have to worry about these MiGs trying to draw us away anymore. Which I think they did want to do, but we took out the MiG-31s that they were supposed to cover for, so...
Fire. Fox 1. Fox 1. Flash 1.
Alright, our wingman got one MiG. Let's try to get the other. Which, now he's ignoring us, so that almost makes me think he's really low on fuel.
We've got him now. Flash 1 bandit.
Alright, got him. Disengage, wingman, we're returning to the carrier.
Waypoint Bravo, bearing 108, climb to...
Alright, so... Now that we've got a little bit of time, let's talk about the ship we've been flying from this whole time, the Eisenhower. So, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower was a Flight 1 Nimitz-class ship. It's powered by two A4W nuclear reactors, which are an improvement on the 8 A1Ws, I think they were, on the Enterprise. And as such, it's an evolution on the Kitty Hawk and Enterprise class designs. It was laid down on the 15th of August, 1970, launched on the 11th of October, 1975, and commissioned on the 18th of October, 1977. It can carry over 90 aircraft. It has a top speed of 30 plus knots. And it's been assigned to the Atlantic Fleet for about its entire life. And it started off with a training deployment to the Atlantic, followed by its first actual deployment to the Mediterranean in January 1979. Its second deployment was more eventful, as it was deployed to the Indian Ocean, and in 1980 it relieved the Nimitz 3 days before Operation Eagle Claw. Now, Operation Eagle Claw, for those that don't know, was the U.S. attempt to rescue hostages held in Iran from the Iran hostage crisis, and it didn't go well. It spurred a lot of changes to how the Special Forces operate. So, not exactly a great first combat operation for them. It returned to the Mediterranean for its third deployment in January 5th, 1982, where she helped evacuate U.S. Embassy staff from Lebanon, who were currently undergoing a civil war. Its fourth deployment was to the Mediterranean on April 27th, 1983, where it participated in several NATO exercises. Amid tensions with Libya, Gaddafi threatened to destroy the ship and its battle group if it crossed the so-called Line of Death in the Gulf of Sidra, after which the Eisenhower conducted a freedom of navigation operation, crossed the Line of Death, and did not get destroyed. The only thing of note, really, was that its air wing, across a couple different days, intercepted a pair of Libyan MiG-23s and a pair of Libyan Mirage 5s away from the carrier. And then, with a brief break in Italy, I believe, she then continued deployment with supporting U.S. troops in Lebanon that were intervening there. And in May or June of 1984, for the 40th D-Day anniversary, she kind of went on a goodwill tour in France and England, specifically Normandy and France, where the D-Day landings took place, and Portsmouth, England, where I believe was one of the launching points for D-Day, although I'd have to look that up. Had an uneventful fifth deployment. Now in 1985 of October, the Ike returned to Newport News for an overhaul and refit, and didn't return to the fleet until April of 1981. She returned yet again to the Mediterranean in February of 1988 for her sixth deployment. And in the 29th of August 1988, she collided with an anchored Spanish coal ship and suffered minor damage, so she had to be patched up after that. And she returned to the fleet in April of 1989. In 1990, she conducted her seventh deployment in the Mediterranean again, and they went on another little goodwill tour for Eisenhower's 100th birthday, and another goodwill tour for the D-Day anniversary again. And it became the second nuclear-powered carrier to ever transition the Suez Canal, which she was forced to do in order to move to the Red Sea, where she became the first carrier to conduct sustained operations in defense of Kuwait for Operation Desert Shield, I believe. She returned for work up in the shipyard at Norfolk and redeployed in 26th of September 1991 to the Persian Gulf in support of Operation Desert Storm. She returned to Norfolk again, and then returned to the fleet in November of 1993. And in September of 1984, the Eisenhower Lieutenant Mountain Division tested adaptive force packaging, which I think was just to see if you could put an infantry division on a carrier and have it act like an amphibious assault ship, and they trialed that for Operation Uphold Democracy in Haiti. And I guess it worked out well, but
Go left.
it's not something that I see really being done all that often today, so I guess they figured there wasn't as much value in it as just using purpose-built amphibious assault ships.
4 miles. Lower.
Now, in October of 1994, the Eisenhower went on a 6-month deployment, flying missions in support of Operation Southern Watch
2 miles.
and Operation Deny Flight.
Too much bag.
And it was actually the first time women deployed on a crew of a major naval surface combatant, at least for the U.S. Navy.
Steady. Higher. Higher. Call the ball. Higher. Higher. On the ball. Steady.
Alright.
Lower. 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 Lower.
We got this.
Lower. Good landing.
Woo! Good landing, alright. So, we'll have to see where we can actually land. It's pretty full in here. I'd like to take my spot at the front of the ship here. I don't want to collide with the Seahawk, though it looks like we won't. Alright, so now we're just waiting on our wingman. So April, what is that, 1995, Wheel of Fortune actually filmed 2 weeks of episode in the hangar of the Eisenhower. Returned to Newport News once again in July of 1995 for an 18-month overhaul, after which she departed on her 10th deployment on June 10th, 1998. It was uneventful, returned in December. February 1999, returned to Norfolk for a 6-month refit, returned to the fleet in June of 1999, deployed in February of 2000, and returned in August, during which aircraft dropped ordnance in support of Operation Southern Watch. 8th of January 2007, and yeah, there's a huge gap there, and I mean, like I've said in some of the other videos where I talk about facts, I source a lot of this from Wikipedia, so I don't know what it was doing, if it was undergoing like a core refueling, or if just literally nothing happened and it was a bunch of boring deployments. But skipping to January of 2007, she deployed to the Indian Ocean to provide air cover and support for an C-130 that was targeting a Somali Al-Qaeda cell. And she also conducted anti-piracy operations around the same time, I believe. March 2007, she conducted combat exercises off the Iranian coastline after Iran abducted several Royal Navy personnel. Then October of 2008, a crew member was killed after being struck by a plane. 21st of February 2009, she deployed to the Arabian Sea supporting Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, as well as anti-piracy operations. Looks like the Tomcat, our wingman, wants my spot. 16th of May became the first Nimitz-class carrier to dock in Bahrain. She returned to Norfolk on 30th of July 2009. 2nd of January 2010, she deployed to the Middle East providing support. Okay, he's just gonna take her. So, providing support to regional operations such as anti-piracy, various anti-terrorist operations. So, she returned on July 28th, 2010 to Norfolk. 22nd February 2013, she deployed to the Mediterranean and Middle East again. March 2013, the Saxon-class frigate Hamburg, a German naval ship, became the first to fully integrate with an American carrier battle group. On the 6th of August, she returned to the shipyard in Norfolk and returned to the fleet again in September 2015. June of 2016, she deployed to the Mediterranean and the Middle East in support of various regional operations. So, anti-Taliban operations in Afghanistan, anti-ISIS operations in Syria and Iraq, during which she dropped over 1,100 bombs on ISIS in Iraq and Syria, after which she returned to Norfolk in December of 2016. And currently, I believe she's still in Norfolk undergoing a workover, and she's currently scheduled to be replaced by the USS Enterprise. So, not as exciting a career necessarily as some of the other carriers, but still doing good work nonetheless. So, and I think she's been brought up to at least the Flight 1 Nimitz class standard, if not the Flight 2. We haven't seen too many trials of new technology on her. I've noticed for the Nimitz class that mostly happens on the George Bush these days, which I guess being the newest makes sense. So let's get to our debrief now. USS Eisenhower, CVN-69, date June 1st, mission Wild Bill's pickup, resolution success. Wild Bill wants to personally thank you for saving his butt. He said, heck, if you're ever in Maryland, you should look him up. Mission outcome success, took us about 42 minutes. We are alive with 100% landing grade. Our wingman's alive with a 49% landing grade. No damage. Our wingman destroyed, I thought he destroyed a MiG-21 and a flanker. No. Okay. No, so I guess he just got a MiG-21. We got 2 flankers, 2 Foxhounds, and a MiG-21. Half of our missiles hit, 1 failed, a couple were spoofed. Our wingman, 20% of his hit, over half failed. Jesus Christ. 20% were spoofed. There were 2 missile launches on us. We spoofed both of them. I think it was an Adder and Archer. So let's repair our Tomcat. So we're fully operational. And that's it for this episode. So tune in next time to see how we'll continue to support operations to liberate the Ukraine. See you then.